161. All right, 7th graders. We're going to go to some equations that have fractions and decimals in them. Now, the process for solving these isn't any different than we used before. We're still going to get the variable by itself. That's enough. We're still going to get the variable by itself by getting rid of the number that's on the same side as the variable, so that the variable is all by itself on one side. And then,
You didn't get a warning yet.
I just gave him a warning. I said stop.
I thought it was me. That was
And then
them.
as soon as I turned around, you did something, didn't you?
No, it was them.
But you didn't know you got a warning because you didn't.
You didn't get the warning when I came over here and said stop? You didn't get that? Alex?
Yeah, I did. That's
Okay.
why I stopped.
Really?
He
But
didn't.
then you
No,
started
he
again.
didn't do anything.
You started again as soon as I turned around. Right? Don't. Right? We'll talk after class. So, as I said, you solve these equations the exact same way you did before. Add the opposite of the number so that you can get the variable term by itself. So what would we add to both sides? Carson. Yeah, to get rid of the 6, because that's the number that's on the same side as the variable, what would we add to the other side? Roy?
The opposite of that.
The opposite, which is?
Positive 6.
Positive 6. Yep. And then add down. Max. Pay attention. So 30 plus 0, 30 equals 0 plus 2/3, and we bring this back down to here. Okay? Now what? Ariel. Oh, I'm sorry, it is 28. Okay. Now, if 2/3 of n plus 0 is 28, then 2/3 n equals 28. And then what? Okay, we don't add 3 over 2. We multiply. Right. Put parentheses around this, and then multiply 3 over 2, because that's the reciprocal of 2/3. Use the reciprocal of the coefficient of the variable. Yes?
I did that and then I crossed out the 3 and the 2 and I divided 2/3 by 28 and I got whatever the answer. I got this, like the answer you had on the board. I got this 32. I'm pretty sure I got the same answer.
So you multiply 28 over 1 times 3 over 2.
I divided 28 by 2/3
Okay.
and I got 42.
Yep. How would you do 28 divided by a fraction?
You use your calculator?
No. Because when you're doing the Iowa Basic Skills test, you don't get to use a calculator. Okay? So when you have, and this, you can do this. We learned how to do this last year.
We did.
Okay? Yep. Dividing. Listen. Dividing numbers by fractions. Any number that you divide by a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. Hold on. You multiply by its reciprocal. So if you have 28 divided by 2/3, you change it to 28 times 3 over 2. And make 28 over 1 3 over 2 times 3 over 2, and then reduce it. Well, how can you reduce 28 over 2? Abby?
14.
Good. 14 over 1. And then multiply 14 times 3. And that's how you get the answer. Okay? So whenever you are dividing by a fraction, you just multiply by its reciprocal. Flip the second fraction. If you have fractions divided by fractions, you do the same thing. You flip the second fraction and multiply. Okay? Emily?
Could you be able to add them both, like add the reciprocal, because you still get 5 over 5 if you
If you added 5 plus
if
2
you added,
thirds,
no, if you added 3 over 2 plus 2 over 3, you get 5 over 5.
no. If you added 3 over 2,
Oh, you'd have to do the same.
or negative 3 over 2, you'd have to change, because you're adding, whenever you're adding fractions, you use its reciprocal. Guys, Max, cool? That's a warning, okay? 3 over 2, you have to use a common denominator here, okay? That's not going to give you 0 or 1, okay? So that wouldn't work. You have to multiply. Okay? Go to page 364. Start with number 10. Copy down number 10 in your notebook, in your assignment book. Stop talking. Number 10. 1/4. Stop talking, please. 1/4 times C plus 2 equals 3/4. Now, one of the ways that you can solve fraction equations is to get rid of a fraction. Okay? We can eliminate all the fractions in an equation by multiplying everything by a common multiple or a common denominator. So, that's an option for you. You don't have to do it this way, but put this one in your notes. What you can notice in this one is that the denominators are all the same. Okay? We just have 4s as our denominators. And so if we multiply, and what we'll do is multiply both sides separately, and then you'll see something that you know how to do. Multiply by 4. Multiply this by 4. We know how to multiply a number outside of parentheses. And so if we multiply 4, Emily and Tyler, stop talking. Look up here. There we go. If you multiply 4 times 1/4, 4 over 1 times 1 over 4 is a reciprocal. These are reciprocals. So this is just what, Daria? What are reciprocals equal to?
They equal to the same thing.
4 over 1
Oh,
times
1.
1 over 4. They're equal to 1. Pay attention up here. Okay, I know you can get this if you listen and pay attention. Okay? So, this is just 1C. And then you have to go back to the 4. This is 4 times 2 is 8. Now, if we multiply this side by 4, you can cross off these 4s, can't you? And make it 1 over 1. And so we're just left with the 3. And then that might be much easier to solve than using the fractions. Okay? So copy this down. We multiplied 4 times the left side. Nate, why aren't you paying attention up here? No, why aren't you paying attention to me? There's no excuse for not paying attention. Okay? So you multiply 4 times this side by multiplying the number over parentheses, and then multiply 4 times 3/4. Now, why can you multiply on both sides?
Because, well, there's two different answers. One, you have to do the same thing to the same side.
Exactly.
And then two, multiply because they both have the top and the bottom.
Yep. And we can do that whenever we want to. You can always multiply a number on both sides. The rule is you just have to multiply by the same number on both sides. Okay? You can multiply by anything except 0 on both sides and still keep the equation balanced. Okay? And so then you can solve it this way. Solve this equation then for number 10. First, copy this down, multiply by 4 on both sides, and then solve this equation for number 10. Okay? Then, try doing the same thing in number 12 to solve number 12. Do this on number 12. Write down number 12 and multiply both sides by 3. And when you copy down number 12, you'll understand why you use 3. Okay? And then do 14, 16, and 18 also. Those have decimals in there. Just practicing with the decimals. Alright? With decimals, you solve them the same way as you do whole numbers. So 10 through 18 evens.